Donald Trump has coronavirus.
Process immediately. The president
He
and
tested
first lady
positive
have tested
negative
positive
for the
for the
coronavirus.
coronavirus.
This is just breaking
This
news.
puts us in all new territory.
Yep.
The uncontrolled pandemic
It's
that has been ravaging our country, that has killed close to 250,000 of our fellow citizens, has now racked up in the list of positive patients north of 7.3 million as of airtime tonight.
the President of the United States.
No less than the President of the United States and the First Lady of the United States. As we
Both
were
of them.
saying, this started with a positive diagnosis of longtime and very close Trump aide Hope Hicks. Hope Hicks said to be mildly symptomatic. We thought, in plain English, something was up, as we thought it was during the 9 p.m. hour Eastern time that the president was initially tested. Gallons of ink will be spilled and much time and attention granted to what was going on in the intervening hour and days since the first suspected case, positive case around the president. That would be Hope Hicks. The president is believed, if past performance was the guide for tonight, to have been given the rapid test at the White House. And then when we didn't hear anything, when we saw his tweet talking about beginning the quarantine process, nothing more, nothing less, we suspected perhaps multiple tests to rule out a false positive or false negative. But this president, who has been outwardly and publicly from the start, can fairly be called a COVID-19 denier, did his best publicly to diminish the threat, diminish what it was doing in its travels across our country, many times promising it will go away, it will disappear, early on telling us cases would go down to zero. We now know, thanks to tape recordings with the journalist Bob Woodward, he knew better. He knew better privately. He was willing to discuss that over what he thought was a private telephone call. But he said, as not to panic the public, he was not willing to share that with the public and was eager to play it down and keep playing it down. We can't make that graphic at the bottom of the screen large enough to express the import of this moment, the impact of this on the president, his life and health as a 74-year-old man, the life and health of the First Lady. Hope Hicks is also in our thoughts tonight, but the impact on the country, the impact on the presidential race, with Americans going to polling places, those who haven't already, in just over 1 month, to decide who will lead our country through the next year of what will be. And one of the sure things we know about 2021 is we will still be dealing with this pandemic. Peter Baker,
Yeah, I
as
think
Chief
this
White
is
House correspondent,
Major League bad. And you were asking me about whether or not I thought it was a way of shifting his shifting the news. It certainly is going to work out that way, but I go on the side of respecting the president of the United States and wishing that he recovers rapidly, because I may disagree with him about this or that, but I do not wish him to have ill health. So that's just the way it is, and I've always been that way. Now, having said all that, I'll say this. It's a fine mess, because if he were to pass away, and that likelihood is before us, before the election, the next question is what will we do then? We're in uncharted territory because we've never had a sitting president of the United States. Think about this. We've never had a sitting president of the United States, Mom. ever, can you ever remember one that was sick in this way where his sickness could lead to his passing? I can't either. And that's the most jarring aspect of this whole thing in the middle of a year that has been incredibly wild. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. We'll be back with more of this